Good afternoon, dear friends. My name is Rustam Dervish. I am the host of the Crimean Tatar food program. Today we are in such a beautiful place. And today we will cook a wonderful Crimean Tatar dish, pilav. How is the Crimean Tatar pilav different from all the others? The absence of carrots in it. Why didn't it have carrots in it? Because until the 18th century there were no carrots in the Crimea, and there were no potatoes. And the main difference, I believe that this is the main difference from all the others, the Crimean Tatar pilav was cooked in fuel butter. So, what products do we need to prepare our dish? This is 1.5 kilograms of rice. I took osman because I'm good with this rice. A kilogram of fresh lamb, 500 grams of melted butter and 150 grams of raisins and dried apricots. And, of course, onions. You don't need much. 3 bulbs are enough. Well, salt, where without it. Cut lamb into small pieces, fresh lamb. The pieces should be about 1 by 1 centimeter in size. Maybe 1 to 2. Maybe a little more. There are more than 200 types of pilav. It is believed that there are more than 200 species of pilav in the world, and we have at least 20 Crimean Tatars. More than 20, but I think that even more, because in each region of the Crimea they cook differently, a little bit differently. This is another swim. The hostess, when cooking, could add any products that are at home, if, for example, a festive pilav, very often cooked with dried fruits. These are raisins, dried apricots. And if it is not sweet pilav, then they added different types, different varieties of meat, lamb, beef, liver. Apart from meat, nothing prevented the hostess from adding various vegetables and fruits. That is such a wide field for imagination. Well, every hostess, of course, was proud of her ability to cook pilav, as it is today, in fact. We just forget that this is our Crimean Tatar dish, and it is very tasty. We will verify this today. And then, after watching it all, I hope those who can't repeat and make sure that this is a delicious dish, and who knows how, will write to us how they cook at home. So cut the onion. Onion we cuts into cubes. It is generally accepted that the steppe Tatars began to cook pilav in the steppe, and only then did it spread throughout the Crimea. But I prefer to think that the South Coast Tatars, people who lived in port cities, around them began to cook it, maybe earlier than in the steppe. And there is another interesting way to cook pilav in the oven, but not in a cauldron, but in a pumpkin, inside the pumpkin. The pumpkin was filled with products accordingly and cooked in the oven. Imagine how delicious it was. But today we will make pilav in a cauldron. While the oil is heating up, I want to draw your attention to the weight of the products. At the beginning of the program, I said how many grams of food I have. But it all depends on your mood. Sometimes you can put more meat, and sometimes less. Not necessarily everything you have to put, so a note to young housewives, then do not say that you did not tell. We take the onion, dip it in the oil and check if it makes a merry noise like a volcano boils oil around the onion, which means we can already lay the meat. We must remove the onion from the oil from here so that it does not burn there. And that's it. We lay the meat, carefully observing the safety precautions. See what's happening. Whoa, 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 whoa. We have such an item. So our task is, why do we have such a temperature? Do we need high temperatures? Our meat, once in the oil, should immediately seal on all sides in order to keep all the juices in it. When it is sealed, and there will be such a piece of beautiful, ruddy, and tasty, respectively. Be sure to mix like this. Follow the process without closing the lid. We have meat to be fried on all sides. And when it gets brown, we are following this closely. Then an onion will fall next. The best food is obtained when you cook it on a live fire. The meat is browned. Now we add the onion. Cooking is creativity. You need to invest as much as you need. Once again I say, do not get attached to the gram. Right now, our onions should also be brown. It will be beautiful, ruddy. And then we will pour water. So everything worked out for us. And at this moment we pour water. 1.5 liters of water per kilogram of rice, and we pour warm water, 1.5 liters. All this is now boiling. Then we check the salt. The meat should be almost ready. And then we already have rice next. Why don't we use mashed potatoes like that? And why do we make meat like this in pieces? In about such pieces? And onions. And everything is just in such a piece, neatly chopped. While cooking, inside it retains the juiciness of the minced meat and the rest of the filling. Accordingly, the dish turns out juicy, tasty. It's all baked in there. So we add salt. And we wash it well. The water becomes transparent, as far as possible, and that's it. So great boils. All the lid did the trick. Now we will salt. Salt to taste. You need a little bit more salt than you need a little bit, because then the rice will go even further. The rice will take on some of the salt. And then at this moment I will put raisins. Pilaf will be sweet with raisins. Traditionally raisins. Look, some add raisins after along with rice. Some after rice can be done this way and that. There's nothing wrong with that. The main thing is that he was there. So there is. Now it boils again. We are trying meat. By the way, you can try it now. Salt to taste. And now you can lay the rice. So, a little tip, so as not to spoil the appearance of the pilaf, we use light raisins, because if we put a dark one, then we, accordingly, will have a dark color. Do we need it? No, we need it to be beautiful. So now everything is boiling with us. The taste is good, the meat has come up. It's time to lay the rice. The fire is good. This is how the rice went. Distribute the rice evenly over the entire surface. Then we will place evenly, so neatly. We have 1.5 liters of water for 1.5 kilograms of rice. Here are the fat layers. Why? Because it holds its shape, it is more rigid and hardens faster. In principle, our task is simply to roll into such a tube. Here, that is, we get it, the oil separates each layer of the dough. I'm surprised all the time, which time I'm already doing all the time I'm surprised at this laborious process. Who came up with this? Who came up with it? You can't just bake bread or enjoy life. No, you need to complicate your life. This determines the quality of pilav and the skill of the cook. After the water is boiled away, we form such a hill. We collect the rice in a beautiful pile. Not in a pile, but in a beautiful hill. Look at it, how beautiful it turns out. All the water boiled. It is very important. He must be handsome. You need to make holes in order for excess steam to escape. In the center and on the sides so that steam can freely escape from the inside. And we cover it all with a lid. We cover it, preferably as tight as possible. We reduce the fire and wait 30 minutes. 30 minutes of happy waiting, and then we will eat delicious pilav. Our 30 minutes have passed. We open. Not in vain they tried, it seems. So, now our task is to mix it. The most important thing is we mix. There are, of course, other types of pilav where rice and meat are not mixed, and then they are applied when they also do not outweigh and a person eats like that. And if it is Crimean Tatar pilav, then we mix it. All the rice is saturated with oil, raisins, and we get such a divine, unforgettable taste and smell. Well, how can I convey the smell to you? A gentle, creamy smell. And now the lamb adds this one, its flavor, but I will try anyway. Because I need to try and tell you. It turned out exactly the way I wanted. They write about pilav that it should be a little bit softer than pilav. But I like that's how pilav. Probably because I was born in Uzbekistan. Very tasty. This creamy taste is different from the Uzbek pilav, from the one we are used to, this creamy delicious. We have tea. This is our Crimean tea, lemon. We can always find. Once again we were convinced that we have a unique cuisine with its centuries-old recipes and customs. Try making this at home. And today we say goodbye. On that happy note, we've made it. See you on the next broadcast.